We are 이서연, 양정희, 이신우 from Group 4 in this class, and we're gonna do a presentation about our critical reading. The title of the article is Elite Korean Schools for Giving Ivy League Skills. Let me introduce the contents of this presentation. The first is a summary. We are going to tell about summarizing the article in our own words. Second, emotional engagement. We are gonna reporting our personal connection to the reading. Finally, critical question. We'll talk together about writer, such as purpose, point of view, the form of the article, reliability, and grammar. And then I'm in charge of the presentation of the summary section. There are elite schools in South Korea, such as Daewon Foreign Language High School and the Minjok Leadership Academy. Both schools' goal is sending students to Ivy Leagues in the United States. Victoria Kim, who graduated Harvard, thinks that entering American college is a big fashion in Korea. Both Daewon and Minjok let students do unceasing study in the best circumstances. Although there are some endeavors to relieve their rigorous regulations, both schools are still strict and have curriculum regulated. Actually, Korea is not the only country sending students more to the United States, but compared to other countries, Korean students study more than any other country's students. Korean student applications to Harvard have increased from 66 in 2003 to 213 this spring. Also, Harvard, Yale, Princeton have 103 Korean undergraduates in total, and among them, 34 students are from Daewon or Minjok. Kim Soo-yeon, who was a graduate in Daewon, has studied hard for her SAT scores, having the best scores on all the tests and having classes even on weekends. The average scores of SAT in Daewon is so high like her. Kim Hyun-kyung, who had almost perfect scores on the SAT, had a busy day studying every time. Students of the Minjok Academy spent more daunting days. They start the day at 6 a.m., study until 2 a.m. when dormitories' lights are gone, and sleep after studying. There are even some students turning the lanterns on and keep going. However, they not only studying but also taking part in many club activities like rock band. I've given a summary of the article so far, and now other members are going to report the critical reading that our group has done.
Emotional engagement. Students' passion to study, dreaming of going to the Ivy Leagues, was very impressive. We also have studied hard to go to good university during high school, but we were not as much as they were, so we feel admirable. But there is a point to correct. Kim Soo-yeon's mother in this article said that Korean parents want their children to get all 100 points. That's the wrong content. It implies that Korean does not treat a medal if it is not a gold medal, but it's not true. Going to a famous university is a great accomplishment, but in itself does not have a tremendous effect. We doubt whether going to a good university will help students in the far future. It can be a mistake to consider the university as their final goal. Students have to find more than that. It would have been better if the article had the feelings and experiences they felt after entering college, because we can see what they worked so hard for. The phrase, "even the worst students are great," was memorable, because it was a word that I had never heard in high school. Although studying is important, I felt sorry for them who suppressed their precious experiences with friends and pure love that they could only experience in their teens. I didn't know that the rate of Korean students entering American universities was so great. Looking back on my high school days, I jokingly said that I would go to Harvard, but I was embarrassed because there were students who truly challenged.
Third, I'm going to talk about critical questions. First, we think the writer is a professional writer who has interest in education. When we read the article, our group members all think that the writer felt very proud of Korean students' passion to achieve their goals. So, we think the writer's purpose is to inform the people about how much effort Korean elite students are making for going to American university and their passionate mind. There are a lot of people criticizing the way Korean students spend their time studying, but we think the writer feels very proud of Korean students' passion to study unlike them. So, we think the writer has positive view about Korean students' busy days of studying. This article focused on daily lives of students in their school. By focusing on personal life, like their morning routine, the writer can describe students' diligence more in detail. This could be the advantage of the writing. We think this article is very reliable because the writer recorded the students' scores and quoted students' interviews directly, showing their thinking and lifestyles vividly. And also, the writer presented some reliable things like statistics or exact figures. Now, I'm going to talk about two biases of the writer. First, he only focused on students who study well and satisfied with school. There may be some students who feel hard to adapt at school or who are tired of studying, but there weren't any stories about them in this article. Second, the article doesn't contain a story about college life that students want. It doesn't contain a story about what life is like when students who have been looking forward to going to Ivy League actually got into college, but it only focuses on going to college. This makes us feel like the university is the last goal of our life. Last, I'm going to talk about specific grammatical choice of writer. First, the writer quoted interviews with students and teachers. Second, due to specific numbers and statistics, writer could increase reliability. Third, the writer described students' daily lives in detail so readers could imagine scenes. Fourth, the article compared Korea and other countries to emphasize the abilities of Korean students.
Last, let me talk about our feeling about this activity. Jung-hee said, "It was much funnier to understand the writing by sharing thoughts with group members than by reading it alone and thinking about it while doing a summary. I think the joy of having the same thoughts with the members makes team activities with the members more attractive. And I think it is good that other members can supplement my opinion so that the completeness can be increased in expressing our opinion." Seoyeon said, "Talking with members of our team was so interesting for me. There was a member who catches things that I couldn't think of. So there were many things I can learn from. It was pleased when other members had opinions similar with me. Also, it was fun to find common things while respecting each other's opinions. And I felt we were able to develop critical reading skills by talking to each other. I could hear what I didn't think from the team, and this allowed me to think again. Sometimes we felt the same thing in writing, so I could emphasize." Thank you for listening to our presentation.